the things that I love about this program is the flexibility that we're allowed. We have our internal medicine, our wards months, of course, but we get to choose our electives, which I think is something that not a lot of programs offer. And I got to do a dermatology rotation, for example, just so I don't get too rusty when I join my dermatology program next year. But I also get to do things that I may have not been able to do as a medical student, and may also not get to do in my future years at residency. So things like rheumatology, which would be super relevant to my future career, but I may not necessarily have had exposure to before. I think that's a super unique experience that we get.
I would second that, because there's a lot of PM&R programs still that are advanced, and so it's sort of, they don't really have very strict requirements. It's sort of choose your own adventure for an intern year, and so I love that this program was choose your own adventure. I got to pick what was relevant to me and like have focused on just the things that would be significant. Like you said, I needed to do cards, I wanted to do neuro, I wanted to do rheum, I wanted to do ortho, and I could do all that. I had the space in the schedule too. Like, we have so much flexibility. That's not like, oh, I need to sneak in this 1 or 2 rotations. You can get a ton of things that you were hoping to see your intern year sort of checked off.
Right, I think the program really lets us like tailor our year and our education to what really fits us and our future careers the best.
Yeah.
I would also say you get great exposure at St. Luke's. I know the flexibility, like you can really do anything you want. Dr. Nichols is also very flexible in helping us choose different electives. But I would say that, you know, there are times to learn during our intern year, and I don't think it has the pressure of academic institutions as much, but you still get to learn a lot, and it's different types of patients you get to see is as good as anywhere.
I think the culture is something that's like really special here. Kind of going off what Max was starting to say is like everybody's just so wonderful. Like you just have this Goldilocks space like on rounds where you have space to learn, you have space to make mistakes. People will push you a little bit, but it's in a way for your own growth. And I think just that perspective on teaching is it's just been wonderful.
Yeah, and I think that one of the best ways to choose a program is to, you know, ask people who came before you. And when I talked to people who had done the intern year at St. Luke's the year before I came here, I asked them, like, you know, if you had the opportunity to choose it again, would you pick it again? And they said absolutely every single time. And we're 6 months in, and I would say absolutely every single time. I think that there's a million different ways to choose a residency program, and there's so many variables. You know, you can think about like proximity to friends and family, prestige of the program, research opportunities at that program. The list kind of goes on. And so for me, I found that a little bit overwhelming. And so what I did was I kind of took all of the things that I could possibly weigh, and I thought about what 3 were most important to me. And then I focused on ranking my programs based off those 3 things. And so for me, that was geographic location, proximity to people that I care about, and then like a learning environment that I feel like I'm going to be really supported in. And when I kind of did all of that and sort of, I don't want to say ignored, but sort of gave less weight to the other variables, for me, St. Luke's was a very obvious choice.
I would agree with that. I had a little journal that I started for my interviews, so that right away, like when I was done with a program, I would jot my immediate thoughts, right? Because we were doing interviews for months. I'm not going to remember how I felt after this one in November, come, you know, January, February, when you're making your lists. And it was a lot of those key points of like, how did I feel? How did the residents seem? Like, did they seem happy? Were they eager to talk to us? Like, you know, there are some interviews where maybe people didn't seem like they were super thrilled to be helping with the interviews, and I think that speaks a lot. Whereas the people from St. Luke's were really happy to tell us and like excited, like, yeah, I have this big secret that I want to tell you about, and it's that you should come here. And so it was really nice to sort of, you know, take that time to reflect after every interview and jot down my thoughts, so that at the end I had a nice little booklet of, you know, what did I feel like each program had to offer me, and then yeah, it just, you know, it made sense at the end of the day when I went back and looked at my notes.
I did something like really similar, but I just like, I have a lot of family kind of scattered throughout the US. So I would voice record like just a 30-second blurb about like how the interview went. And then I had like these blurbs of myself that I had like sent off to my family that I could listen to like later. So it's like a similar idea. I just didn't, after like a long day of interviewing, I didn't have the energy to like write. So find whatever like way works for you to like just write down how you feel, because I promise you 4 months later when you're making the rank list, like all these things, like I feel like as a lot of us are type A, we have this like pressure to like make this spreadsheet, and I made the spreadsheet where I like, you know, tagged it, put everything in kind of this math formula. But in the end, the way I made the decision was based on, you know, what I thought in my little voice memos. So do whatever, you know, you need to do to kind of document how you felt right after that interview.
The voice recording is a good idea too, because you can just listen to the tone of your voice and see how excited you are about it.